thank you so much for showing up. I really appreciate it. It means a lot to me. I'm happy you guys are all here. We got Bobby Lee. He's going to talk in just a few minutes or a few seconds. In the meantime, you know, so we don't have to project so much. You guys, if anyone feels like getting a little closer and moving in, you're welcome.
Come on over.
You're welcome to come on in. Bobby Lee doesn't bite too much. It'll be okay.
I won't bite and I won't spit.
He doesn't bite. But we definitely want you guys to be able to hear
Come
it.
closer. We'll light a fire and start a Christmas
That's
fireplace.
That's right. In the meantime, he's going to be able to answer any questions you might have about Ballet Wallet as well. So we definitely want to, if you're thinking of any questions, or if you have anything while he's talking, see that we'll get some questions in too. And again, I can't thank you enough for coming out, guys. Good times.
I have no idea.
All right.
All right.
So I'll hand it over to Bobby Lee.
So hello everyone. So where should I stand? Are you gonna
right
get the
right here? Anywhere in the zone.
Literally in the spotlight. Okay, hi everyone. It's good to have. So this crowd is not as big as I feared, but it's good to have a more intimate crowd where we could engage in more direct conversation. So this little stage here is pretty cool. So let's give it up for Mike. Thank you for having me at this meetup. All right. So come on over, unless you want to get liquored up. Yeah? How many drinks already?
2.
Okay, come on over. Have a seat. Have a seat. Have a seat here. I want to have a very intimate discussion with this crowd, and as incentive, I got to bribe you guys, right? So aside from giving away copies of my book, autographed copies, and by the way, there's a reason I'm giving these away. It has to do with the Bitcoin price lately. I'll tell you that story in a bit. The other thing I'm going to do is we're going to give you some free Bitcoin. Free Bitcoin for everyone here tonight. How's that?
Yeah!
Yeah, you'll have a choice of free Bitcoin. Actually, we'll just do both. We'll just give free Bitcoin and a wallet. How about that? Okay, so we'll give a free Bitcoin and also a Ballet cold storage wallet. Okay, did you get those tickets tonight? Yes, if you lost it, too bad. One free wallet and some free Bitcoin for everyone. Okay, so let me do this. So everyone is aware Bitcoin prices has corrected over the last few days, right? So it ran up to, what is it, 42, 43,000, 44 before 10 days ago, prior to the big conference in Miami. Some of you were there, some of us were there. And what I tell people is sort of buy on rumors, sell on news, right? People were excited about the conference, the prices went up, and then as soon as the conference happened, the prices tanked. So I think we haven't quite recovered from that yet, unfortunately. So I was saying, the joke is I'm giving out free copies of my book. I went to all the Barnes & Nobles in Las Vegas, North Las Vegas, and Henderson, bought out all the copies, brought them over here, give them out so you guys can learn about Bitcoin and buy some Bitcoin by the tip. Will that help the prices?
Yeah.
This is not the buy the dip crowd. Okay, so let me do this. Let me hold on. Let me get something from my bag. Just a second.
We support those. Absolutely.
All right, Ballet Wallet does support Doge. We got confirmation.
Not only that, we have a Doge denominated wallet as well too. As a primary wallet.
Nice.
You can't find what it looks like.
It's on the poster right there.
Yeah, I was gonna. Sorry, I just had
There
to
it
go.
is, yeah.
Had to go.
We saw all of those.
What's your favorite? What's your favorite crypto in this crowd? Besides Bitcoin, Doge. We're
Monero.
Doge fans. Monero. Doge.
Doge, though.
Any Shibu?
Shiba Inu.
Yes, Shiba Inu. Yes.
Cardano.
What else? Cardano.
Yeah.
What else?
Ethereum.
ETH, of course.
Solano.
Solano. Tron.
We saw Tron.
Any BNB fans?
Avalanche.
Avalanche. BNB, anyone? There are more BNB fans in Asia, I find. Yeah, not quite as many as in the US. Okay, so Ballet supports most, if not all, of those coins. Actually, not all, but most of them. So what I want to do is have a chance to tell you about Ballet, our wallet, and the title of this talk, which I don't have slides for, is actually Anatomy of a Crypto Wallet. Anatomy of a Crypto Wallet. Okay, so I don't think has anyone ever attended a talk by that name.
No.
No.
You
Okay.
have now.
So this is you're the guinea pig.
All right.
You're the guinea pig. Okay. This is a talk I've been preparing and I've been rehearsing and practicing for 11 years. No. Well.
Okay.
So that was sort of a lie, sort of true. I've been in crypto for 11 years. So for those of you who don't know, I've been in crypto since 2011. That was when Bitcoin was barely 2 years old. I started mining in the summer of 2011. I was mining Bitcoin at the time using just a rig I made myself using graphics cards, ATI Radeon graphics card. And my rig had 880 mega hashes of compute power. Yay! So at that time it felt like it was fast. Today it's gigahashes and terahashes, so it was only 0.8 gigahash, 0.89, something like that. In any case, that summer, we heated up the whole apartment room that whole summer and mined some, I think $500 worth of Bitcoin, and I paid like $800 worth of electricity to mine $500 worth of Bitcoin. But thankfully, those $500 worth of Bitcoin is like 20 BTC. So that today is $500,000. Oh, actually, no, is it?
No, more.
More than that. More than that. 800,000. More than $500,000. Yes. Last time I gave this talk, it was $500,000. Now it's 800,000. Goodness. I wish I kept it all. And a year later, I made a bet, a Super Bowl bet. I went to school in California at Stanford. Even though I wasn't a fan of the 49ers, I felt the 49ers could win the Super Bowl. I think it was the January or February of 14 or 15, I forgot which year. No, actually it was 13 or 14. I bet $200 on the 49ers, and I lost, but that was 10 BTC. So my $200 bet now costs me a good, what is it now? Is it really $400,000?
Yeah.
Yep.
Those 49ers. Okay, in any case, so that's my old school OG story. So I've been in Bitcoin a long time, and obviously I've been studying wallets a long time. My very first wallet was the Bitcoin client. It was called Bitcoin QT, Bitcoin Core. It's a program you ran. I had a Mac. And the program had a wallet file called the wallet.dat file, and the private keys were not even encrypted in there. It was just plain text. So you've heard some of these stories. So the anatomy of wallet. What is a Bitcoin wallet? So Bitcoin wallet, for some people, is the conceptual software or app. These days, these crypto teens today, they have these programs on their phones called apps, smartphone apps, and you have a wallet on there. Some of the popular ones are like MetaMask, TP Wallet, I'm Token, what else? Trust Wallet, what else? Any wallets you use on your phone?
Coinbase.
Coinbase is an app, custodial exchange. So in any case, wallets, some people confuse exchanges and custodial wallets with actual wallets. So there's really, the easiest, the reality is the easiest is people do use exchanges to store their coins, and those are custodial platforms, right? Basically, I call it, that's an account relationship. What's happening is you, the person, are having a relationship with the company through an account-based relationship. The company knows you by your name. You register for an account. There's something called KYC, Know Your Customer. They ask you for your name, your birthday, your social security number, your address, and your email address, your phone number for SMS verification and all that stuff. So that's an account-based custodial setup. And that is a wallet. Yes, it's valid, Coinbase. Gemini, Kraken, many examples. Binance, right? And by the way, I used to run BTC China, so I was the co-founder and CEO of BTC China, the very first Bitcoin exchange that was started in 2011. So I ran that for 5 years and then eventually sold it 4 years ago, exited, made a lot of money for myself and for made a lot of money for investors. So I got out of the exchange business. So I know all the great highs and ups and downs and the highs and lows of running an exchange, including all the dirty secrets running an exchange. And I'm glad to be out and unscathed, alive, not in prison, not on the FBI most wanted list, and with my reputation intact. Okay, that's what I'm most proud of. So So despite all that great history, oh, by the way, I have the dubious honor of having run one of the world's, or the world's largest exchange by trading volume. That was in 2013, 2014, okay? So I've had my seat at the top of the hill, so to speak. And now today, I think that's occupied by my good friend CZ, Chang Penzao, at Binance. I think he runs the world's largest exchange today. So it's been a rotation. Some people go up there as the famous people, Mark Karpellis, anyone who knows who that is? Mark Karpellis of the Mt. Gox fame. So he had his seat up. He had a sitting on the top of the hill for one, king of the hill. So it's a dubious honor because it's tricky to be the world's largest exchange. Many exchanges have cycled through. Aside from Mt. Gox, BTC China, there's been Bitfinex, right? Bitstamp, Bitfinex, a lot of companies, Binance, Coinbase, a lot of companies have been on that spot, will be on that spot, but it's tricky. So that's why, already, definitely try not to keep your coins on exchanges unless you're loading it on there to sell your coins, okay? So in terms of the anatomy of the wallet, the second and most real kind of wallet is wallets where you hold your private keys. And this is where we talk about mobile wallets. This is the IAM token, the MetaMask. This is the, give me the ones you guys think of. Blue Wallet. What else?
Atomic.
What is it?
Atomic.
Atomic Wallet. I think there's one called Exodus. I don't use it. What else is there? TP, Trust Wallet. Anything else?
BRD is the one?
Huh?
BRD.
Bread Wallet. Yeah, Bread Wallet. That's right. Old school.
Okay.
Treasure or
We're talking about mobile phone wallets. Okay. So all these mobile phone wallets, you actually do have your private key. You hold it. It's in your phone. But they're considered hot wallets. And what does that mean? Well, it means that your private keys are on your device. They're in your hand, right? However, it's hot because your device is electronic and it's connected to the internet. And as we've read in the stories, there's a lot of these zero-day exploits, a lot of these hacks. Even though my iPhone supposedly is more secure than some Android devices that are not patched up. But the reality is, I don't know for sure if my iPhone is tapped and hacked or not. I travel to China, I really don't know if I'm on their list, if they've installed some spyware on here. You've heard of the company's Pegasus, Israeli company Pegasus spyware. And I would love to pay someone to find out if my phone is on that list, right? And if I can buy a new iPhone at an Apple store with cash anonymously and try to switch everything over there. But then the question is, if I switch everything over, does the spyware also go over? So it's nagging, it's one of those nagging topics in my mind, whether my phone, really my phone, and obviously your phones too, are you safe? Right? Because hackers, when they break into your device, they don't necessarily take all your coins right away. They actually wait for the right time. They wait for the right time when you put more money in, and then they'll take everything out. Does that make sense? So until they take anything out, until they steal from you, you don't know if the hacker's already in your house. That's the very sad, sad reality of the world of crypto, which is for hot wallets. If you've been hacked, you may not even know it. But by the time you know it, it is too late. Because for decentralized cryptocurrency, and not just Bitcoin, any sort of decentralized cryptocurrency, by the time you know it, it's gone. It's on-chain, it's gone, and there's no calling it back. Even if you know the board member of the Bitcoin Foundation, right? Do you guys know the board member of the Bitcoin Foundation? So that's a small joke. I used to be the board member of a Bitcoin Foundation. So even if you know him, there's nothing I can do. Even if you know me, there's nothing I can do, right? So that's how useless the Bitcoin Foundation is, because we don't have the power to claw back the money. Same thing with Litecoin Foundation. Same thing with Ethereum Foundation. I don't think Vitalik has the power to claw back any spent Ethereum that you might have spent by accident. Okay? Huh? Unless you fork it. Well, that's a different topic. That's a different topic. That's a very controversial different topic. A political topic in crypto. Okay, so the point is, software hot wallets on your phone, on your computer, there are issues. And I'm pointing out that when your private key is on the phone, let's say it's unencrypted. That's where it's really bad, right? But these days, all software hot wallets on your phone are actually encrypted, correct? And there's two issues with that. Number one is, If you ever lose a password to an encrypted wallet file, you are SOL, because there's no centralized authority to reset your password. Do you guys follow me? By the way, a side story. If you ever use a service where there's a password and someone can reset the password for you, then you don't really own the data or the account credentials of that service. You're really this quote-unquote slave. Maybe it's no longer politically correct to call it that, but you're essentially beholden to that company. If you can ask for a password reset, you're beholden to the company, because the company has all the cards. They decide whether you are who you are. They decide whether to send you the password reset link and allow you to reset the password, because it could have been another hacker who masquerades as you, requesting the password reset link and getting it reset. We have all heard of these stories, correct? My own mother has been a victim of identity theft, where someone was able to reset her credentials at her Wells Fargo bank account and draft money out of her account. And this is very close and personal to me, because it happened to my mother. This is not some story on the internet. It happened to my own mother. I don't know if this happened to you or your loved ones, but these things happen even in this day and age. Identity theft happens, people's accounts getting hacked, Coinbase accounts, exchange accounts getting hacked. It happens for real, okay? So that's why whether there's a custodial exchange or anything with a password reset, it's bad. Now, if you can't reset the password, it's also bad. At a conference just 2 days ago, I met someone. He was in Bitcoin since 2013, and he has a Bitcoin wallet file, Bitcoin D, and guess what? He told me he could not for his life figure out the password. What can I do? And I said, even though I have the world's safest hardware wallet, Ballet, cold storage, I said I can't help him. I told him I cannot help you, and because I cannot break into his file. So either the password is really hard, you cannot break in, or it's something that's not so hard where you try enough you can break it. Both are bad, right? It's like choose bad or bad. There's no good news here. Okay, either you forget, it's really bad, or the other option is, it's guessable, enough tries. In which case, if a hacker downloads that file off your device, they have an eternity to go figure it out. They can run that file against all the Amazon AWS servers and clusters and just attack your wallet non-stop 24/7 in parallel across a lot of machines, and they can hack your account like that. Does that make sense? So it's bad or bad. Either they'll fail or you'll fail. Regardless, either you'll lose your money because you forgot your own password, or you lose your money because the hackers figure out your password. So this is why it's so bad to have your money in a hot wallet. Does that make sense? Okay, so this is, I hope this serves as real warning. Of the 20 people here, some of you will lose your money in hot wallets in the coming years. And then you'll come back to me, just like people have in the last 11 years. I meet people, I've met so many people in the last 11 years. Some of you will come back to me in 5 years and 7 years. Hey, Bobby, remember me? I was at the GOAT in April of 2022. We met, you gave this talk. It was only 20 of us. I was there. I heard you, but I didn't follow what you told us to do, and I lost some coins. I can bet you it'll happen. And when you do come to me, I'll buy you steak dinner.
I'll see you in 3 years.
In 3 And steak dinner by then will cost $450.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah. So that's my sort of high level view of hot wallets. Okay. Hot wallets are great if you want to go spend money. I'm not advocating we never use hot wallets, but don't use hot wallets for the bulk of your long-term investment in crypto. If you have a few $100, if you want to have money crypto on here, I don't care if it's Litecoin, Lightning Channel, Ethereum, Bitcoin, whatever, Dogecoin, Zcash, whatever, and you want to pay for breakfast, pay tips, want to buy a drink at, or go to the casino and use a Bitcoin ATM and cash out some, that's great. But don't put your larger boatload of savings in a hot wallet, okay? Even people buying NFTs, I'm like, if you're spending so much money for an NFT, don't put it on a hot wallet. People leave it in their MetaMask all the time. I'm like, gosh, like well, actually, recently we're hearing more stories of hackers hacking into people's MetaMask and people getting swindled, right? People getting identity theft and getting cheated from their MetaMask hot wallets. Have you read these stories that I have? Yeah, we're reading the same news? Yeah? Good. Okay, so anatomy of wallets. The real wallets you want to use for by the way, the next part of this talk is about long-term storage for cryptocurrency investments, for long-term, for large growth. Are we all here for that, by the way?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay, good. I'm here for that. I'm here for that. I'm not here. So don't get me wrong. I'm a big supporter of Bitcoin, but some people confuse me for wanting to Bitcoin for the purpose of spending at the bars. I just gave our bartender Alex here a tip in Bitcoin, and it was 10,000 sats. I was saying about tipping and all that, spending Bitcoin and all that. That's good. That's good. But I'm also Bitcoin hodler, right? HODL. I'm holding Bitcoin for the long haul, right? I'm gonna make me and my family rich and famous and stylish and limousines and airplanes and all that stuff. Because why? Because I have faith in Bitcoin as a long-term investment. And whatever your choice of coin, either ETH, is it Zcash, is it Monero, is it what's the latest, Solana, and all these great coins. Maybe they'll go up 100x, 1000x. That's great. To each his own. To each her own. Okay. Regardless, you want to have good protection of your coins for the long haul. Do you agree?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah? Right? You want that, right? And my talk is to educate all of you, and then I think Ballet might play a small part in that, but my talk overall is a bigger concept. Really teaching people all around the world to store their coins safely. I'm already financially independent. I've sold the company. I've made a lot of money in Bitcoin. Guess how many times I've made money in Bitcoin? Like, guess as a percentage return, how many percent I've made in my Bitcoin? How many X return I've made?
1 million.
I've made over $1 million. I've made over $1 million in Bitcoin. Yes, but I've made more than 100x. Actually, more than 1,000x, and actually more than 10,000x return in my Bitcoin. Okay, so you can get a feeling of the fact that, as a wealthy Bitcoin person, why am I still out on the streets giving talks? It's because of my passion. Of my passion for the industry, for cryptocurrency, for Bitcoin, and educating people, bringing you guys on board, and basically doing you the favor that I was given in the early days. People teaching me about Bitcoin. My brother Charlie, and so on and so forth. He brought my attention to Bitcoin. So we'll see how long I do it. The other reality is a lot of the Bitcoin OG people, they disappear off the radar because once they get really rich, they just stop showing up in public. They just go hide away and become bazillionaires, in hiding, so to speak, right? So nothing wrong with that. That might happen to me someday. So this might be the last time you see me.
Hey.
No, just kidding. Okay, so hardware wallets. So you want to put your long-term savings in cold storage. And the reason is cold storage means your private keys are offline. Completely offline, not connected to the internet. You cannot get hacked with cold storage. Unless you mismanage the cold storage. Okay? So there's a big asterisk. Actually, can I talk about this? This is recorded? Okay, I talked to a big exchange this morning. I had a phone call. And some of these big exchanges, you know the big ones. And you might assume, first of all, they all have cold storage. But you might assume that they have insurance. It turns out they don't. They have insurance on their hot wallets. And even that, it's a very high deductible and with a limit. So there's a policy limit. They all make these nice claims. Oh, we have insurance with Lloyd's of London. Hey, by the way, I know all this stuff because for me, I ran an exchange. I tried to get Lloyd's of London insurance for my hot wallet at BTC China back then. And I know all the terms. I've seen the contracts, all the insurance brokers and Lloyd's of London and blah, 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 blah. There's policy limits. There's things like war, terrorism, that's like, what do you call it? That's, the policy doesn't cover for that. And then there are deductibles. That's a scary thing. You might have a high deductible and a low policy limit. So it's only covering for things between this and this. Otherwise, the company has to cough it up. And if it's too much, then you're SOL. MT Gox never had an insurance policy. That's why they had all this stuff going on. but my point is, I don't want to name the exchanges, but the exchanges are not as well insured as you might think, okay? Especially their cold storage. Their cold storage does not have insurance. Let me repeat. The cold storage at exchanges are not insured, okay? They may have segregated accounts, they may tell you all these nice things, but it's not insured, and worst of all, well, I guess that's as bad as it gets, right? It's all, you're counting on their ability to manage that cold wallet for you, okay? Okay, so you want to manage your own cold storage, you want to have your own private keys, and that's why I created the company Ballet, okay? So anatomy of a wallet. Thinking about a wallet. Who uses electronic wallets, hardware wallets, like Trezors and Ledgers? Trezor, by the way, has a fame of being the very first cold storage wallet in the industry. The concept was talked about in Bitcoin Talk in 2014. I was one of the early, forum participants. Very excited about the Trezor, the upcoming Trezor cold storage wallet. And then, of course, we have Ledger. Ledger has the honor of being the world's best-selling, right? They've made the most money, sold the most units. The Ledger Nano S is the most best-selling wallet. They have these other ones. And by the way, I use Trezors, I use Ledgers myself, so I'm very happy customers of these hardware electronic wallets. How many of you use them? Let's get a real hand. Only 3, 4? Wow. Okay. I thought they had 100 million users. I guess they don't. Okay, so of the 4 of you, how many of you actually use it versus you have one in your drawer that's never been set up?
In the drawer.
Yeah, okay, but it's not a joke. A lot of my friends have these devices, friends and acquaintances, and some of them just have them in the drawer because they either purchased one, they got one as a gift, they got one at a conference, it's just in the drawer, they never use it, never set it up. Because why? They just didn't bother to. It's too complicated. Okay, so that's, by the way, I'm going to come back to this. This is one of the reasons why I created Ballet. Okay, we'll get to it. Okay, so hardware wallets are hard to set up, very complicated. I do it. I know how to do it. In fact, true story. 2018, after I sold my company, I bought 10 Ledger wallets. This is a true story, so I'll name everything. And I bought from Amazon, and I brought them to China and gave them out as gifts, as just a small token of appreciation to my ex-colleagues who worked with me at BTC China, BTCC, just to give it to them as a reward, as a fun token, right? And you know what? To my surprise, 9 out of the 10 of them could not figure out how to use it. They haven't used one before. And because it wasn't part of their job at BTCC to do that. And I had to host a 2-hour, it turned into a 3-hour session on a Thursday afternoon, a tutorial sort of session to teach them how to set up and use the Ledger wallet with very sort of high operational security concepts, okay? So I had to give that tutorial session, and that was a turning point when I realized, aha, you know what? Bitcoin by then had been around for 8-9 years, and still it was too hard. Bitcoin and collectively cryptocurrency, safe storage was too hard. And I thought I needed to do something. I sort of got out of my semi-retirement and decided to start Ballet. So by December, by the last week of December, my mind was committed. I'm going to start a new company. At the time, we didn't have the name Ballet, but eventually became the name Ballet. It was to start a new company to build a wallet that was truly safe and also truly easy. This is a crazy concept because safe and easy is diametrically opposed. Safety and convenience are two ends of one dimension. You either have something very safe, very inconvenient, or something that's very convenient but not safe at all. Now look at the door here. The door to this bar is quite special, very unique, this door, right? This is probably one of the more safer, secure doors compared to many other bars, right? So whether it's a door, whether it's a door to a bar, whether it's a door to a restaurant, or no door to the bathroom here, no door, right? Very convenient, but what? There's no safety and no privacy. You can see people washing their hands in there, right? So again, do you guys understand my point? No. So how do you have something that's truly safe and also very convenient? So I think Ballet, we have the right balance. But in any case, back to the concept of wallets. What is a wallet fundamentally? Fundamentally, when it comes to traditional wallets, it's like this. It's a physical thing. You put money in there, and you're good to go. But when it comes to digital cryptocurrency, decentralized digital currency, cryptocurrency, wallets are essentially a collection of private keys. Am I right? Think about it. Maybe think about it if you know, or if you don't know, I'll walk you through it. Your digital cryptocurrency wallet is a collection of the private keys that stores your cryptocurrency. I don't care if it's Monero, Solana, Bitcoin, ETH, or Litecoin. Okay, you may have different number of private keys representing different accounts or different addresses or different blah 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 smart contracts that actually store your coins. And your coins are all the storage of where are they stored? People always ask me, where are my Bitcoins stored? This is a tough question, right? Your Bitcoins, the accounting of it is in the blockchain, which is in the cloud, right? I don't know. I think it's in this direction right here. Okay. So that's my Bitcoin blockchain right there. Okay. So the Bitcoin blockchain, as you know, is replicated hundreds of thousands of times all over the world. In fact, I run my own full node, so there's a copy of it on my own computer. I can always check at it. But anyways, so there's a lot of copies out there. They all have the same. They're all synchronized. They have the same record of my Bitcoins and your Bitcoins. So it's in lockstep. That's called the blockchain. Okay, but that's just the accounting record of it. Where are your Bitcoins stored? Well, your Bitcoins aren't stored anywhere per se. The record says this account number, this Bitcoin address has this many Bitcoins. Where are they stored? Well, it turns out your Bitcoins, the reason you think you own your Bitcoins, or rather the reason you actually own your Bitcoin, is because you have the private key. That private key is uniquely able to unlock the Bitcoins in that account. And this is through the concept of cryptography. Okay, cryptography, what they call public key, private key cryptography. There's some famous people, RSA, they invented public key, private key cryptography. So there's all these famous algorithms in there, SHA-256 hashes, or, all that stuff, which I don't get into because, first of all, I don't have a PhD in mathematics. Secondly, I don't have a PhD in cryptography. All I have is a bachelor's and a master's in computer science. Okay, so I know a little bit to be dangerous, but I'm not going to spew out the algorithms for you guys tonight. Okay, now.
So you're not an engineer.
So what?
You're not an engineer.
I am an engineer. I'm a bona fide engineer. I'm a computer science. I have 2 degrees from Stanford University. I worked at Yahoo as an engineer. Michael here is questioning my background.
Yeah. No, computer engineer. You have a degree in computer engineering.
Absolutely. Computer science.
No, computer engineering.
I don't have computer engineering.
Two different.
You're right, sir. You're smarter than me.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay. So the point is that cryptography is what allows modern cryptography, mathematics, essentially the idea that 1 + 1 = 2. That concept is what protects your Bitcoin because only you, with that private key, can so-called unlock the Bitcoin in that account. So each Bitcoin account address corresponds to one set of private keys, technically, so only you can unlock it. Okay. So a wallet essentially is a collection of private keys, either one or multiple, and that's your wallet. So where do you store your wallet? Now, here's the thing. Because private keys are digital information, it's just ones and zeros. People will make an assumption that private keys can only be stored digitally in electronic form. So let me ask that question again. Trick question. Cryptocurrency private keys, can it only be stored? First of all, it's digital, right? It's ones and zeros. Can it only be stored in electronic form? Yes or no? Yes, raise your hand. No, raise your other hand. So the correct answer is no. The correct answer is no. Because if I write on a piece of paper 1010, those 4 numbers, 1010, represents a binary number. And that is digital information, even though it's written on human flesh with a Sharpie. Make sense? So I could do that right now. I could write 1010. I've written digital information on my arm. Does it make me digital? No, I'm human. I'm biological. But this is digital information. It's not in electronic form. My Apple Watch here, right next to it, has 32 gigabytes of storage. Somewhere in there, there's some pattern of this stuff. But these are two ways to store digital information. Non-electronically and electronically. The vast majority of private keys is stored electronically. Make sense? Okay? Some of it is not. Okay? So private keys stored electronically is fine. However, electronic devices have what? Have issues. Have longevity issues, have compatibility issues, have software update issues, have security issues, zero-day exploits and all that stuff. Okay? So for example, my watch needs to be updated because it needs to be patched and stuff like that, new software. The battery in my watch is, the battery capacity is shrinking over time. Can I use the same watch for another year? Yes. For 5 years? Yeah, maybe. For 10 years? I doubt it. 10 years from now, this watch will be useless. It will be a brick. It will be a heavy brick. And same with my phone. I had one of the very early iPhones. 10 years from now, this iPhone, it may still look shiny and stuff, but this iPhone, take it out of the case, in 10 years, may not even power up because the battery may have died. Okay? So that's why I personally don't want to rely exclusively on electronic technology for my long-term private keys. Okay? Alright. So, private keys, the essence of a wallet is private keys. But what's the essence of private keys? What's behind private keys? Do you guys know? Private keys is just these numbers. It'll be 160 bits. It'll be much longer. This is 4 bits. So 160 bits would be 160 numbers. I could write them all on my body, and I don't know if I'll fit, right, at this size, right? So, what's behind private keys? What's the essence behind private keys?
Privacy.
Well, privacy will be a feature, but how do we get the private keys? How do the wallet manufacturers give the private keys?
Random generation.
Yeah, random generation. Mike Wilson, this part you want to listen to. This is the question. Yeah. This part you want to listen to. You asked me before at the beginning of the talk.
Private keys.
So no, you want to listen to this. So the essence of private keys, these long digits, the essence of private keys.
Yeah.
Right. So the question is, what's behind it? Look, for example, if you buy a wallet, if you use a software wallet, TP, IAM token, MetaMask, or you use a hardware wallet, Trezor Ledger, who's generating the private keys? Here's a very controversial, well, I think it's controversial. I'm going to ask this question, and most of you will get it wrong, okay? I'm going to ask you, it's going to be a yes or no question, okay? I'm going to ask, when you buy a hardware wallet, an electronic hardware like Trezor and Ledger, you buy it, you set it up, who generates the private key? Yourself, right? So who said that?
You do.
Yeah, yourself, right? The customer, right? The user.
Yeah.
Who agrees? The customer user generates the private keys.
Through an algorithm we use by
Okay.
anybody.
So let me tell you, I'm an amateur magician. It's really, like when I was a kid, my mom and dad, they encouraged me, amateur. I didn't bring any magic things, but make balls appear, stuff like that. But what I want to say is, your answer is completely correct because that's what the industry wants you to think. This is the greatest sleight of hand in our industry. Hardware wallet makers want you to think that you generate the private key. But that is absolutely false. I'm looking at the camera. That is absolutely 100% false. Because why? Because patterns of ones and zeros that was generated in your Trezor, Ledger, or whatever device. Lately, what was the wallet we saw in Miami? Arculus, Tangem, OpenDime, all these hardware devices, Cold Store, Cold Key, whatever. You know what? You know those geeky hardware wallets I'm talking about? Who generates a private key? The user doesn't generate the private key. Okay, no one from my company. Okay, you guys are.
We excluded.
No one from my company. Okay, we'll let real people participate. Okay? Okay, so it's a greatest sleight of hand. It's a greatest. I don't think they do it on purpose, but they do. I think it's misleading. They make it feel like the user's generating it, but it's not. Think about it. Did you actually come up with the ones and zeros yourself? You didn't do that. You pressed the button. That's all you did. You pressed the button, and then blah, 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 blah,
That's how it sounds.
right? And they give it to you. They're like, okay, congratulations. Your private keys. Right? It's like you getting married, you go to the hospital, husband and wife, you press a button, the baby is yours. Boop, there's the baby. Does it have your genes in it? Is it genetically your baby? If you go to the hospital, you press a button, like a vending machine, out pops the baby. Is it really, I mean, it's yours, you take it home, you adopt it or whatever, but is it yours genetically? It's not. You didn't do the entropy to select these numbers. It gives you these 12 words or 24 words seed recovery phrases. Who's gone through that process?
Yeah.
Right? You're the only one?
And we all.
You all have? Yeah. But think about it. Am I telling you the truth or am I faking it?
No, that's what true. There's an algorithm that generates that, though.
Yeah. There's an algorithm. So did you do it or did someone else do it? That's a question.
You're trusting that there was an algorithm.
Yeah, you're trusting there was an algorithm. So my point is, there's some program, either in software or firmware, there's some hardware, either the computer itself, on a mobile phone or on a desktop computer, some processor, Intel or whatever, AMD chip, or some firmware chip that ran the software and hardware algorithms, and it generates the ones and zeros, and it assigns those words, those 12, 24 really funny words, in some crazy order, and they ask you to write that down and back it up. Am I right? Am I telling the truth?
That's how it works.
Yep.
Right? So, did the user generate their private keys?
Negative.
Negative. The user was the first person to touch the private keys, so to speak, was the first human being to receive the private keys. So it's like the parents out at the baby vending machine, you press a button, out comes the baby. Yes, you are the first set of parents to own this baby and hold this baby. You are the firstborn parents for that. But you didn't make that baby. The machine did. You guys follow me so far?
Yep.
Craziness, huh? Are you gonna fall asleep tonight or not?
You sound a little bit like Maury Povich. It's not your baby.
It's not your baby. It's not your private. No, I'm not saying, by the way, I'm not saying or insinuating someone else has that baby or someone else has that private key. All I'm saying is calling it for what it is, which is what you thought were your private keys were actually given to you. It's the magician. I should have brought a deck of cards.
Different from what Ballet Wallet does.
Well, no. We're gonna come to Ballet later, okay?
Well,
So I don't. This talk is yes, Ballet is my company, but I really want to educate people for you to open the eyes and see the light, and then for you to decide yourself, okay? But you know the magician's trick, where you've been to these Vegas shows, or even just amateur magicians. You have a deck of cards, you fan it out, you should pick a card, pick any card, and then you pick one, and then they know exactly which card you picked because the magician forced a card on you. That's what happens. When you use a hardware wallet or even the software wallet, when you press a button, those 24 words come up. Now, they're not evil. The wallets are not evil. No, I'm not accusing you of that. The magicians are not evil. But you know, my point is they generated the private keys and the software hardware wallet combination gave those 24 words to you. You write it down. You guys follow me? And by doing so, supposedly, they delete and erase and forget everything. And supposedly, more importantly, first of all, very importantly, those 24 words weren't used somewhere else. It wasn't a copy. It wasn't a reprint, so to speak. It was genuinely freshly picked. And secondly, they didn't transfer that back to the servers for storage. Correct? They could easily do that. Think about it. Every wallet you use could have easily sent those 24 words back to the server. Every single wallet you use. Trezor, Ledger, everyone. The fact that they don't is because you trust that they're true. They're telling you they don't, and you're trusting them that they don't. You guys follow me so far?
Yeah.
In fact, a very silly story. Real story. One wallet maker. You guys help me look it up, okay? There was one wallet maker, some junior programmer, smart-ass programmer, can I use that word? He was like, you know, I want to make sure those 24 words are spelled correctly. So every time before I send back the 24 words to the user, I send them to Google spell check. Real. Whoopsie. And spell check comes back correct, good. So now they send the 24 words to the user. So what that smart-ass junior engineer wanted to do was, yes, That was a good idea, not to give a misspelling. But by giving it to Google Translate or Google Spell Check, what happened? Google servers have a log of those 24 words, okay? And this is a true story. Now, thankfully, that's a very small wallet vendor. It's not one of the major guys, so don't worry. Your wallet keys probably didn't happen like that, okay? But that could happen. Okay, you guys follow me so far?
It's a CoinMe wallet.
CoinMe wallet. Okay, thank you, Thomas, for looking that up. That's a real story. You can go verify that, okay? All right, so the point is your private keys are yours, but don't ever get confused that they were you generated. So the only way to actually generate your own private keys is go buy some dice, 20-sided dice, 26-sided dice, whatever crazy 30-sided dice instead of those regular 6-sided dice. Who's played D&D? You get these 20-sided dice, you know what I'm talking about? Yeah. Get a whole bunch of 20-sided dice, and you go into a dark room with a flashlight, no cameras, you know. Roll the dice, count the numbers, and then run your own algorithm, you know, on an abacus. You can't even use an electronic device. Right? You get an abacus, you know, run the modern cryptography on it, get a piece of paper, pencil, and slide rules and all that stuff, and then you can generate your private key from that entropy. So entropy is a fancy word for random data. Okay? So your wallet does use entropy. Okay? A computer without entropy will spit out the same result every time. But if you add random data in there, then the result will come out differently for generating the private keys. Okay? And that's called entropy. So when a hardware wallet, so Mike, this part you should listen to as well. This is the entropy part, okay? Sorry to interrupt you, but this
is what we're looking for.
Entropy, okay? Entropy is a keyword. E-N-T-R-O-P-Y. Entropy, yes. So entropy is the random data signals that go into the computer chips. So when the computer says, give me a random number, it gets a random number from the entropy. Sometimes the entropy is user provided, sometimes the entropy is provided by the wallet maker. Sometimes it's a combination of both. Sometimes it takes the temperature of the chip in the computer, sometimes it takes the, you know, where your mouse cursor is and stuff like that. But if it gets bad entropy, you will have bad data. So if you have bad entropy, the wallet will come out 1010101010 160 times. If someone puts Bitcoin in that wallet, you be sure I'll just take that Bitcoin right away because I know that combination. Does that make sense? Or if you put 0000000, that's also a bad wallet. Or 11111. Or pick your favorite number, you know, pick your birthday. If your wallet seed is at your birthday, well guess what? Your money will be stolen because there's only 365 birthdays. I can just make all 365 wallets and look at them. If anyone puts Bitcoin in them, I'll just take all the Bitcoin now. You guys follow me so far? So you want to have a wallet that's giving true entropy. And those hardware wallet makers do a good job. They do a good job. Okay, the reputable ones. I'm not accusing they're doing a bad job. All I'm saying is they're doing the job, not you. Don't get conned. Okay? You're trusting them, which is not a problem in itself. But what is a problem is if you misunderstand the situation. Okay? So this is the anatomy of a wallet. We have different kinds of wallets. We have custodial exchanges, we have software wallets, hot wallets, and then we have cold storage cold storage wallets, hardware and electronic and non-electronic. Okay, so let me take a break here before I talk about Ballet. I want to let you guys ask some good questions about everything that I've said. If you think anything I've said is wrong, this is the time to point it out, and I'm happy to answer the question or make adjustments. Any questions you may have?
Can you talk about the central point of failures? I mean, that's really what we're talking about here. The central point of failure and how we limit that.
Central point of failures for the hardware wallets. For the hardware wallet or for the entropy key generation process?
Both. Either or.
Okay, so there's no central point of failure. There's multiple points of failure. Okay, so if you want to dive in, it's pretty hairy. The private keys that are generated for you, the private recovery seeds, the 12 words, 24 words, you got to have good software, a reputable software, vendor, hardware, firmware, good algorithm, and good entropy. If you have bad entropy, very bad. Also, true story. This is a wallet by blockchain.com. Who's used blockchain.info, blockchain.com? It's a web explorer. Who's used that? Block Explorer. Anyone? Old school? No one? Blockchain.org? You use it? Yeah. So they have a wallet. For a while, a few years ago, their software had a bug where it used bad entropy. instead of getting random numbers from the whole universe, they were getting random numbers from this one corner of the universe. They were always making wallets from this one small corner of the universe. And then what happens, hackers figured it out, and then hackers were able to brute force and generate all the wallets in that space and pick out all the customers' money and steal it. That's one of the few untold stories in the industry. I mean, it's out there, but they've really tried to hush it up. It's very scary. So if your wallet maker, your software wallet maker, has a bug or flaw in their software where they're using bad entropy, you will get hacked. You will get hacked. Okay, make sense? Okay, so that's one point of failure. And of course, the hardware itself is a point of failure. If the hardware dies, if it fries, goes through an X-ray machine, or there's an EMP bomb that goes off, fries your chip, you plug it into something, the voltage is wrong, it fries your chip. I mean, who's had a hardware device die on them? Is it just me? I mean, yeah, a lot of us, right? Yeah. So if your hardware device dies, then, you know, my very first iPhone, I'm sad because I owned one of the very first iPhones, the iPhone 8 gigabyte from 2007. I don't know if you've seen it, it's awesome. Back then it was awesome. But I'm very sad because about 8 years afterwards, I kept it, trying to save it for posterity, but the lithium-ion battery in there went bust, and it just expanded. It was sitting in my drawer, but it just expanded, it blew out the case.
Whoa.
Yeah, it just blew out the, one day I would go and look at it, it's like boom, it's like, you know, the lithium-ion battery just busted. And it blew out the case, it almost cracked the screen, but it was, you know, at that point I just junked it. I didn't even bother trying to fix it. So hardware devices, battery, power, USB, you know.
So a paper wallet solves a little bit of that problem.
Some of that. So this is where we talk about Ballet. But any questions, any other questions before we talk about Ballet? Okay, so Ballet wallets, here's innovation. We are a hardware, okay, this is like the advertising part of the infomercial, okay? So I apologize if this offends you, but I'm not here to make money even though I'm happy to sell your wallets. I'm here to educate the community in crypto because I think through education, by the way, so I told you, I got out of retirement, so to speak, to start this company to do a good thing. Whether or not we succeed, now I tell my team we're going to succeed, right? But the reality is I'm doing it for the greater good of the community, right? I think it's good for a startup to have that vision. That's the vision, okay? So we want to bring cryptocurrency, to make it accessible, make it easy to everyone in the world, to all 8 billion people.
Usability.
Usability, that's exactly it.
Let's get to that.
Yeah, I think, so have you tried our Ballet wallets?
I have not. I've seen
Okay,
it.
so you should try it, and I'd love to keep in touch with you. I want your honest opinion and compare with all the other solutions out there if it's truly usable. This wallet can be used by your children, if you have kids, young children, to teenagers, to college, and your parents and even your grandparents. Okay, it's so easy. The reason is no setup. There's no setup. You buy it, you get it out of the box, you can use it right away. There's a QR code, Bitcoin deposit, I just, boom, you're ready to go. There's no setup, there's no backup process, there's no 12 words, there's no 24 words, there's no writing down numbers or anything, there's no passwords. Remember, passwords are evil, right? There's no passwords. Okay? So it's that easy to use, okay? So that's Ballet. Anyways, so roughly speaking, we are the first company to create a wallet that is offline cold storage, meaning hardware, that is not connected to the internet. This is not connected to the internet. Made of stainless steel. This is a high-end gold edition. It's actually plated with 24K real gold. We went through to make it really nice looking, okay? And cryptocurrency is virtual currency. You don't even feel it, see it, touch it. But this wallet, we make it tangible. You can see it, you can feel it. There's an embossed raised edge, right? Real Bitcoin, real series. You can see it, you can touch it, you can hear it, and best of all, we even have anti-counterfeiting measures where on the QR code, if you scratch it with your fingers, you smell it, there's a scent. That's a Ballet scent. Try it out later, okay? That's why you can feel it, see it, touch it, smell it. And the only thing you can't do is taste it, unless you shove it down your mouth. Then you can taste it, okay? So we're trying to cover all the senses, okay? There's even UV light ink on here for anti-counterfeiting and stuff like that. But the point is, we're trying to make virtual currency tangible for people who are not familiar with cryptocurrency. So you guys all are. But all of you have parents, grandparents, children, nephews, nieces, siblings, brothers, sisters, sister-in-law, brother-in-law, whatever, in-laws. You have colleagues, coworkers who are curious about Bitcoin, cryptocurrency. So if they want, they should get a book for them, buy a book from Amazon, get a wallet, gift it to them. This is the wallet where you can buy it, no setup, load crypto on here, Bitcoin, Litecoin, Ethereum, Zcash, and then Dogecoin, right, Shiba, and then just give it to them.
Better than a bond.
Better than buying savings bonds, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Better than cash. Better than savings bonds. Better than buying a gold bar, right? This is a bearer asset. A bearer asset. Oh, here's another speech I give. It's called Bearer Assets versus Titled Assets. Titled assets are when things are titled to your name. Bearer assets are when it's whoever has it owns it. Gold, diamonds, cash, paintings, like a pen, a watch, bearer assets. Whoever has it owns it. You guys follow me so far?
Yeah.
Okay? Titled assets, bank accounts, stock brokerage accounts, motorcycles, cars, planes, real estate, titled assets. Whoever has a key doesn't really own it. Not necessarily. Make sense?
Like silver on the stock market.
Yeah, paper, silver, yeah, commodities, those in the market, those are all titled assets. So there are benefits to titled assets, there are also benefits to bearer assets, depends on circumstances. When you have your coins on Coinbase or Gemini or Kraken,
Don't do it.
you are essentially owning titled asset version of cryptocurrency. When you have your coins on a hardware wallet, whether it's Ballet, Trezor, Ledger, whatever, you're holding the bearer asset version of that cryptocurrency. Okay? The whole point of cryptocurrency is it can be a bearer asset. Hold it yourself. That's what I tell people. If you're going to just keep it with them, you might as well just not buy crypto.
Have a bank account.
Right? Because if you're Russian, any of you Russians here? Oh yeah, that's right. All the Russians are lining up in front of the Coinbase headquarters in San Francisco office. They're trying to protest the fact that all the Russians got their accounts frozen at Coinbase.
Non-fungible.
Right? It's a joke, but seriously, right? Some people have their accounts frozen at these exchanges at the directive of U.S. regulators. And Coinbase, I don't blame them. If I were the CEO, I'd do the same because that's what you have to do. Otherwise, the CEO has to go to jail, right? So you have to follow the law. And if the regulators say you got to freeze these accounts for these people, then too bad. And today is Russia. Tomorrow it could be some other country, some other citizen, some other race or ethnicity or whatever stuff, right? So that's why you don't want to be discriminated against. That's why you don't want to have your coins on exchanges, because if you have your coins on exchanges, you can be chosen as you could be just you look different, and we're going to freeze your account. Right? I look Chinese, right? But I'm Chinese American. I have a U.S. passport. And if China and the U.S. ever go to war, I might be, things might happen, right? Where I would not be happy about. So, hey, Thomas? Okay. All right. So the point is, hold your private keys, and what else was I going to talk about for Ballet? Okay, so our private keys. So there is a misconception. People think we create the private keys, and therefore by selling you this wallet, we, Ballet, have the private keys, and we can steal your money. That is nothing. There's nothing farther from the truth. Okay. So the point is, if Ballet were evil, if I were evil, we could certainly do that. We could certainly give you a pre-set up, a hacked wallet, where you would use it, and then we could take the funds. Again, don't misquote me, okay? I don't want any partial clips on the internet. If we were evil. However, here's the other reality. If I were to invite on stage any of the other CEOs of all the other wallet makers, every single wallet maker out there, Ledger, Trezor, Trust Wallet, MetaMask, I'm Token, any of those wallet makers, including all the exchanges,
hot or cold.
if any of them were evil, the same thing is true. Do you guys follow my point? If any of them were evil, you put money in their wallet, Bread Wallet, whatever, all these wallets, your money can be taken by them. Because they can do amateur magician stuff where they show you this software, blah, 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 and then you get swindled. Okay? And there are cases of that. there are hacked versions of these other wallets where people get swindled because the company isn't evil, but the hackers, they've changed the software, they've booby-trapped it. Okay, they've booby-trapped these devices and software. Right, for example, Bread Wallet is a software you can download for your Android device and iPhone. For a while, there were counterfeit versions of Bread Wallet, BRD Wallet, on the App Store. One of my real personal friends, a colleague at BTCC, he mistakenly downloaded the counterfeit version Bread Wallet. He sent Bitcoin to it, and 5 minutes later it was gone. True story. Okay, this happens all the time. That's why you have to trust the source. That's why you have to buy the wallet from the right place. If you buy it from the wrong place, you might just get lucky, it was genuine. But if you get unlucky, it was tainted and booby-trapped, you're gonna get your coin stolen. Okay? Does that make sense, guys?
Yeah.
So back to the private keys. Does Ballet have the private keys? No. We don't. Here's why. We use open standard, open source technology, BIP38. We actually don't have the private keys on this card. Let me say it again. For some of you either who've seen the wallet, who've used the wallet, who may understand the wallet, some of you think we do. I'm going to change images. This is the what do you call it? The diagram, the anatomy of the Ballet wallet. This is our stainless steel edition. It's in 3D. You have this top layer sticker here. Sorry. Top layer sticker here that goes on top of this. So the yellow part normally you don't see. It's a silver part that's directly silver white colored QR code. You guys follow me so far?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And then on the bottom there's a strip that says verify wallet passphrase scratch off blah blah blah. So essentially, I don't have the diagram, but essentially you see it here. If you have a coin, a penny, a quarter, whatever, you scratch it off. Underneath here you'll see some letters and numbers, and then below this sticker, you'll see another QR code with another bunch of letters and numbers here. Okay. So it turns out what we're really doing. This is a really cool part. We are giving our users the two pieces of information. This piece, let's call this part A. Let's call this part B. Part A is covered by the outer sticker. Part A is with the yellow background. Part B is covered by the scratch off, and it's laser etched onto the stainless steel card. You guys follow me so far? Okay. Part A and Part B, think of it, are the dice rolls. They're the entropy. It's the entropy for the Ballet wallet. You guys follow me so far?
Yeah.
So the A and B are just the entropy. The entropy itself is not the private key. You need so the BIP38 protocol, you need to combine. By the way, is Julian here? Can you go find Julian, make sure he attends this? Okay, sorry for the So make sure that, so we provide the A and B. The A and B using BIP38 protocol. This is an open internet standard, sorry, not internet, open Bitcoin standard. It's been around for like 10 years, 8 years, 9 years, 10 years. They combine the A and B together, and that's what generates the private key. Okay, you have to combine it together and use cryptography to derive, the word is derive, the private key. So until someone combines and sees those two pieces of information, it's kind of like, again, to use human reproduction. The father provides the sperm, the mother provides the egg. Both the egg and the sperm have the chromosomes in there, the DNA, correct? Yes, biology. Until the egg, even though when the husband and wife gets married, you see the wedding photo, you know how the father looks like, you know how the wife looks like, the mother looks like. You sort of can guess what the baby will look like. You know, maybe you can and cannot. But you don't know the genes, you don't know the blood type and all that until the egg and the sperm fertilizes, correct? So what we have here is, think of it as the egg and the sperm that is pre-fertilized. So we don't know the embryo, by the way, in biological term, I'm not a doctor or whatever, the embryo is a term when the egg and the sperm has fertilized. So an egg is just an egg, but if it's fertilized, it's called the embryo. So this is not the embryo. This is the egg and the sperm separately. But once you fertilize it, then it becomes the embryo, then it has the full thing. And that is a private key. Okay, you guys follow me so far?
Yeah.
So when Ballet creates these wallets and we sell it to you, we sell it to you unfertilized. The two pieces of information, by the way, you may not know this, they're actually generated and created in different countries. One part is in China, one part is in the USA. So no one at the company, no one in the world has ever seen both parts together. Because the two parts are each individually covered. Okay, Mike? So the two parts are each individually covered. No one has ever seen both parts. The person to see the both parts for the first time is you, the user. You, the customer, are the first person to see the both parts by peeling it off and by scratching it off and seeing it. And then using software algorithm, you combine it, fertilize it, you get your private key. Make sense? And therefore we say you have full, exclusive access and control of the private keys. That's why it's 100% safe. We've been on for 3 years, and last quarter we announced that globally, now there are over $400 million worth of cryptocurrency assets stored on all Ballet wallets over the last 3 years together, combined today. Okay? And we've had 0 hacks. No losses, and best of all, no loss of funds due to user error, due to what we call something being hard to use. No passwords to forget. Like this wallet, there's no passwords. What's underneath here is called the passphrase, but it's provided for you. You don't get to pick it, nor do you get to change it. So there's nothing for you to memorize. Once you have this, it's there, it's on the card. So if something were to happen to you, God forbid, right, knock on wood, if anything or anyone were to get prematurely incapacitated or early death or something, you do not take your crypto, you do not take your Bitcoin to the grave. Because the Bitcoin stays in Ballet, and your heirs and descendants and beneficiaries rather, will have access to it. Your spouse, your children, your grandchildren will always have access to it. Because people die, they take the passwords to the grave with them. And for most times, you know, a Gmail password, Yahoo Mail password, no big deal. But if it's a password to a cryptocurrency account that has $1 million in it, you take it to the grave with you. That's a hugely unsettling, and it's unfair for the rest of your family. Huh?
It's a common problem.
It's a common problem. And Ballet solves that problem. So Ballet solves a lot of problems. That's why I created this company. That's why I'm so passionate about starting this company. Because we solve a lot of these problems that the industry doesn't think about. Okay, guys? So I think I've given a very deep overview. That's why I want my staff to attend. I want you guys to learn. Okay? And for those of you who stepped out, please watch the whole video, right? Yeah, so let me pause here. I know I spoke a lot. I want to pause here. Thank you for your attention. I'll take some questions. Yes, sir.
Does that make the Ballet wallet a bearer asset?
Does it make the Ballet wallet a bearer asset? Yes, absolutely.
So
we're the
has
first.
That card has the money.
Exactly. If I have, in fact, not this one, but this one in my other pocket. This card has about $1,500 of Bitcoin on here, for real. If I give it to you, and you run out, well, we'll try to get some security cameras and find out who this guy is. but he would have $1,500 with him. Like really, I would have to get it, like wrestle it back from him, or he would kind of give it back to me.
Okay,
It would be like a bar of gold. Would you give it back?
Absolutely.
Thank you. You can scan the QR code. There's really $1,500 on this card.
So if you had the wallet passphrase, would you need anything else to?
You need 2 things. You need the egg and the sperm.
Right. Okay.
Okay, and they're both covered, by the way. They're both covered to begin with. Secure. And people ask, the next question people ask is, oh, so if it's a bearer asset, if I lose it, does it mean I lose my money? And the answer is yes. Okay? And most people think that's a bad thing. Right? It's a bad thing. If I lose this card, I lose my money. They say, oh, if I lose my credit card, I don't lose my money. And I remind them, a credit card is not money. Credit card is debt. Right? And I remind them, oh, they say, oh, if I lose my bank card, I don't lose my money. I remind them, bank card, you really don't have the money. It's with the bank. It's your access, right? You're just losing your account number, essentially. You can always get it back, your account number, right? So that's why I tell them, a bearer asset, you lose it, you lose it. But what's good about a bearer asset is if you have it, you have it. What's more terrible is is if I have my Trezor, if I have my Ledger, and I go to sleep, the next morning I wake up, I still have my Trezor and Ledger, but
Forget the password.
you gotta forget the password, suffered a stroke overnight, or the coins were hacked. Wouldn't that be terrible? Right? Isn't that worse? Because what I decided in 2018, before I started this company, is I made a decision. I made a decision for my users that safekeeping a physical, tangible object that is heavy and hefty is easier than securing electronic data such as 12 words, 24 words. Some people put them in a Google Drive, on a Dropbox folder. Some people take a picture of it on their phone, it's in their camera album. Those are all very bad ideas. Because hackers can get to Google Drive, Dropbox, they can get to your photo album because it's uploaded to the cloud. Do you guys follow me?
Yeah.
So it's easier. I made a decision. It's easier to keep a physical object safe for the 8 billion people in the world. Now there are geeks and nerds out there who know how to secure digital information, but this wallet is not for them. It's for the rest of the 8 billion. Okay?
So what happens if Ballet Wallet goes out of business?
Great.
God forbid.
God forbid if Ballet Wallet goes out of business. I planned for it from day one. In fact, from day 0. I planned for it. Our wallet, everything on here, once you buy it, is yours. You are not dependent on Ballet at all. You can use Ballet, but you're not dependent on it. Okay, it's like buying a Coca-Cola. If Coca-Cola company goes out of business, can I still drink it? Yes. Does it still taste like Coke? Yes. You follow me? So here's why. Here's why. The reason is this technology to combine the egg and the sperm. We should just call it egg and sperm. The technology, the process, is actually an open standard. It's an open industry standard. It's called BIP38. It's non-proprietary. Ballet we do not have exclusive control over it. We cannot stop anyone from using it. You can use your own math to combine the egg and the sperm and get the derived embryo, so to speak.
So if the authorities find out that I have a Ballet wallet, can they come to you and subpoena that information?
Oh, great. So if authorities, by the way, some authorities have, not to mention any authorities, but they come to us, hey, we have this potential suspect criminal using a Ballet wallet. Can we, the company, provide them the money? Can we, freeze the account? And we say, no, we cannot. Because, first of all, we don't have a card. The suspect has a card. The user, it's suspect or non-suspect, whatever. You have the card. And most importantly, we don't retain the egg and the sperm. We don't have copies of it in our manufacturing product. We don't retain it.
What about the public address?
The address is public. So this QR code here is the public address, is on the blockchain. This has always been public and always will be because of the nature of decentralized public blockchain.
But there's no identification.
There's no identification. We don't know who owns it.
Right.
Yeah. Okay? So just for the record, if Ballet ever goes out of business, if Ballet ever goes out of business, if the app gets delisted, all the bad things happen, your cards and your funds will be absolutely stay safe for a long, long time. And moreover, our wallets will last a long time. Our wallets were designed for at least 20 years. I mean, compare that to any of your other software or hardware wallets. Which one can last more than 5 years? Literally speaking, think about it. Which of your other wallets can last more than 5 years? It's like my iPhone, right? Shiny iPhone, I replace it every 1 or 2 years. In 5 years, it's like a piece of brick. Okay? So even if Ballet were to go out of business, which I hope it won't, right? All my staff will be around for 20 years, right? But if we go out of business, you will always have access to it. The version of software that's used to decode it, we even have a version that's open source. It's on GitHub. You can download it, put it on a USB drive, right? No worry, you can decode it all and get your money out. Make sense? And I did it on purpose. If I had to create a company, if I didn't have that solution, I wouldn't have started this company. I had many choices. I wouldn't have done it. I just wouldn't have done it.
So, do you have? Are you working with retailers for people to begin using this, or is that more grassroots?
Not yet. Not yet. I'll tell you. I'll talk about that in a little bit. Okay. So back about the public. Your earlier question about the public. Okay. So this is the public address on the card, and this is all public blockchain. We don't know who has it. For example, if I give this to you, you may give it to your girlfriend, spouse, children, and they use it. They may give it to someone else, to a school teacher. So in the end, We don't know. We don't track it. When you order on Amazon, we don't know who the customers are. When you order from our website, you can buy it Amazon Prime delivery very fast. You order from a website, we send it out. We don't track the serial numbers. Each car has a serial number. Okay, don't get me wrong. Everyone's unique. Okay, but we don't track it. We don't know who owns what. We purposely don't track it, and we'll delete your customer information after a certain amount of months. I have my own coins on Ballet, so I've designed the company management to be very respectful of privacy and individual, what's the word? Yeah, privacy, I guess. Privacy and security. I'm very respectful of that. Okay? So I don't, for example, when I tell people, I don't, like, they try to tell me where they store their Ballet. I mean, don't tell me where they store it. Right? Because I don't need to know. Okay? And I'm very proud that my customers will be very safe with these wallets. My investors use it, my customers use it, my employees use it, I use it. You know, my mother uses it. Like my mother, you know, she has Ballet wallets with Bitcoin and Litecoin on it, and she puts it in her safe, you know, stuff like that.
So your banner says crypto gift card. Is that?
Yeah, we have gift cards.
Is that a different way of framing it, or is just that it has a certain logo on it?
So this is the only. It's because it's a bearer asset. This is the only hardware wallet where you can gift someone, right? Some people, I've heard some people say they buy a Ledger wallet or whatever. They set it up. They put Bitcoin in there and they give it to their mother. Right? And then they keep they keep those 24 words, they store it for their mother, and that's just like, it's like, why bother? Your mother's not going to plug that ledger in anyways. Right? Just write her a piece of paper, I gave you five Bitcoins, and give it to your mother. Well, why bother? Right? However, in this case, you know, you can give Bitcoin to your mother, to your father, Mother's Day, Father's Day, birthday, wedding gifts, you know, baby showers, you know, bar mitzvahs, you know, Kwanzaa, all these things, Easter, right? So, Valentine's, right? Engagement gift. Rather than ask for a diamond ring, ask for a Ballet wallet with 1 Bitcoin loaded on there. Imagine that.
Yeah.
Yeah, right?
How do you guarantee the uniquity of the scratch off?
The what? The
uniquity, the uniqueness.
What's
of
uniquity?
The uniqueness of the scratch off.
Okay, are you talking about the scratch off thing or the thing underneath the scratch off? The numbers.
Scratch off is up. How do you guarantee that it's unique?
You mean the numbers behind it?
Yeah.
So great question. This is my first time hearing that question. So we're professionals. Okay, my company, my staff were professionals. I've been in Bitcoin for 11 years. My staff, a lot of my staff in my company are from from my last company, BTCC. So they've been in Bitcoin for 7-8 years. So we collectively have a lot of experience with cryptocurrency. Okay, we designed this we designed this whole process. This product is made in the USA and it's patented. I'm proud to say we have 5 US patents on this wallet. We're the first to do it with multi-currency support and all that stuff. 2-factor key generation. We generate the keys in 2 locations, 2 countries in the world. No one's ever done that before, right? And so back to your point, to be very specific, we use software that is well audited, that our own engineers go in and look at it and modify and improve it to generate the material for the egg and sperm. Okay? The egg and sperm is just data, just ones and zeros.
No, I get that.
Okay? And then each card comes out with different ones and zeros because there's just so many combinations.
Right. So when I say uniquity, like how do you guarantee that they're each unique? Like,
we cannot guarantee. It's all dice roll.
Okay.
Okay? Meaning that if you roll a dice 1,000 times, can you guarantee the next day when you roll 1,000 times, will it be the same or different? Can you guarantee that it will be different?
No, I can't, but
You cannot, because technically, there's that small 1 in a gazillion billions chance where you roll the dice 1,000 times on day 1, you might roll the same pattern on day 2. Isn't that there a chance?
Very unlikely.
Very unlikely, exactly.
Yeah.
But there is a chance from a mathematical perspective. So that's why, to answer your question strictly, can 2 cards have the exact same passphrase underneath? Well, very unlikely, but mathematically possible. Because the only way to not make it possible is to store every combination, and when I make the next version, I check against everything I've made to make sure it's different, and then I approve it. Okay? Do you see my point? Do you guys see my point?
Yeah.
It's tricky, right? Right. The only way to guarantee my next card is unique from all the ones I've made is to have a record of all the ones I've made and to check against that. We don't do that.
That's
We
a
just-
point of failure.
Huh?
That would be a point of failure.
Exactly. Exactly.
Except you got the egg and the sperm. So what's the chance of those?
Well,
both
exactly.
happening?
There you go. There you go.
Astronomical.
Astronomical. That's the word. The total combination of possibilities of the egg and sperm is more than the number of atoms in the whole universe. Okay, it's like 2 to the power of 160. 160 doesn't sound like a big number, but when you multiply 2 by itself over and over again, 160 times. Like if this number were 160 digits long, that's the total amount of combinations of the egg and sperm. And that's more than the number of atoms in the universe. This is more than trillions, quadrillions. It will be literally hundreds of thousands of zeros in decimal places, if you follow me, okay? This is the power of large numbers. And you don't need a PhD to understand that. You can look it up. Yeah.
So where's the card manufacturer?
It's made in the USA.
It is.
These cards are made in the USA. Some of these materials are sourced in China. The egg is made, the yellow egg here is derived in China. The sperm is derived in the USA. And they're always kept separate. They never go online. They never even go on an SSD. They never even go onto a computer. They're on an offline rotating magnetic disk drive, and they get deleted after it's been imprinted onto the card.
Have you been able to film that process, or
To fill it, or
kind of open about that?
we don't.
Verify.
For select people, we can bring you in to inspect it, but we don't film it and post it on the internet. There's a lot of trade secret.
Independent.
Yeah, it's kind of like, for example, Coca-Cola. You have to trust the fact that Coca-Cola has no rat poison in it.
It does.
It does.
It really does.
And cocaine.
And cocaine, there you go. Okay. Bad example. All right, scratch that. We're going to scratch that, okay? There's no rat poison in here, okay?
That's all we need. That's all we need.
But you get my point. You get my point. Just because you trust them, they don't have it, doesn't mean they have to be. There's still trade secrets.
Yeah.
There's still some trade secrets how we do certain things. Okay. And the fact is, you trust us as professionals, as experts, who have I have over 10 years in this industry. I mean, from listening to my talk, you probably get an impression of how smart and how experienced I am in Bitcoin and cryptography. I don't even have a PhD. Right? Why am I experienced? Because of my real life experience. Not because I had this when I graduated from Stanford, right? I didn't know about all of this. Okay? So anyway, so that's it. I mean, that's a reality. Every wallet you use, I don't care if it's a software wallet or an exchange or a hardware wallet, implicitly you are trusting the team, the CEO, the management, the CTO, the staff there, that they're doing no evil. Right? If they're doing evil, you're going to get screwed. And if my staff does evil, you're going to get screwed too. That's why I insist my staff, I hold them to very high ethical standards, do no evil, and obviously we all know that. Okay, does that make sense? And that's the truth.
Definitely.
Yeah. All right, any questions?
Yeah. If you get targeted, can somebody, you personally, because like I said, you were talking about this.
Yeah.
Can they get
Coerce me and do something.
Or like not to go there, but if something ever. What about the next person in line? How does this?
Yeah. Let me tell you about this. I thought about this. Okay.
Yeah.
This is I spent many years in China, so I know how the authoritarian system there works.
Yeah.
And of course, there's criticism of the U.S. system, so it's neither here nor there. And this is why the egg and sperm are made in different countries.
Oh.
So not one person can control both pieces. So at worst, one country's FBI, CIA, police can force me to log all the sperm, how we do the sperm, and all the numbers here. And then if they force me to log it, I'll just stop. I'll just close the company down. And same thing with the egg, right? And because they're made separately, and because first off, there's no one authority, no one government can control the whole process. That's why we put it in 2 jurisdictions. And China and US, we picked these 2 countries because I happen to travel back and forth, and also because these 2 countries are not on the same pack. So there's no extradition treaty, there's none of that geopolitical risk for these 2 countries cooperating, so to speak. Right? Now, if they really want to booby trap it, I will stop and close down the company. I just won't do it. And you just have to take my word for it. But the reality is the same true, right? If all these my competitors, it's even worse because they're in one country, and if that country forces that person to booby trap their product and sell it and ship that one product to a drug dealer in so-and-so country so that they can steal the drug dealer's funds. I don't know, maybe it would happen. Whereas my product, you can't do that. Because you'd have to get the two countries to force different staff of my management team. And we have weekly meetings and we talk about things, right? So it's not likely gonna affect it. We have two separate companies running the two parts, right? It's two subsidiaries, yeah. Make sense? So I've thought about that, yeah. And I'm very cognizant and aware of that. Yeah. Thank you for that great question. By the way, thank you for your patience. It's a small crowd, but I was able to practice and share with you this discussion. I hope it was helpful. I hope it was engaging and educational. Did any of you learn anything by show of hands? Yeah.
I like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's yeah. So I'm happy. It generally makes me happy to be able to share this with you guys. And by the way, I didn't do a perfect job at this presentation, and I tell my staff, every time I give a speech, it's rehearsal for the next one. And if you think I did a great job, it's because I've had a lot of rehearsals. If you think I didn't do a good job, it's because I'm rehearsing for the next one.
That's right.
Thank you. And with that applause, we're going to give you some free Bitcoin and some free wallets.
Thanks, Bobby.
Yes.